What's up, guys? Joe from SRHQ. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Remington 9501 Large Stockman. Before we get into this video, just a quick update on my last video. If you guys haven't seen that, I will leave a link up here and in the description down below. I'm basically stranded on the Canary Islands of Spain. We are under a complete lockdown. Spain is under a state of national emergency. And I have to say the situation has gotten quite a bit worse since I made that video. So I was planning on making an updated video, but I'm also thinking about going live. So let me know what you guys think about that. We're basically confined to our rooms now, so I really have nothing but time. I don't know how to go live. I've never done that on YouTube. I don't know if I need to have my camera as well as a computer. You know, it's just something that I'd have to figure out. But if you guys are interested in that, let me know down in the comments below. I could do that as early as tonight. But let's go ahead and take a look at this knife. Yeah, I've been wanting one of these for a really long time, not just a Remington Stockman, just this particular one. I love the color combination. I just really love the look of the knife, and I'd searched for it for a really long time. Was lucky enough to find one on eBay, a brand new one, in fact, with the original packaging and everything, so I was thrilled about that. This, as you can see, it's branded Remington, but this was made by Camillus. You know, Remington has a really long history of knife making dating back to the 1920s. Since then, the company has traded hands a couple times. Several other companies have been subcontracted to make Remington knives, and in 1982, Camillus started making Remington knives for Remington, and this is one of those knives. This is a somewhat vintage knife. I don't know the exact date it was produced, but sometime in the 90s is when this knife came out. This is basically the exact same knife as the Camillus Large Stockman. I believe it's the 718 pattern, and they even have one in this exact same color, the only difference being the shield and the tang stamps. But other than that, it's the exact same knife. So yeah, I've never owned a Camillus traditional knife, so I was really excited to get that, and reading up on the Remington history is really fascinating. I'll put some links down in the description box below if you guys want to learn more about Remington knives. But today we're just going to take a look at this one. I'll give you guys my thoughts. We'll take a look at the knife. Just a beautiful knife. This is just a classic example of an American-made Stockman knife. It's on the large frame. 4¼ inch handle. It's got a beautiful serpentine handle, and what I mean by serpentine is, if you can see, it kind of has this very subtle S shape. So when you guys hear people talking about traditional knives and serpentine frames, that's what they're referring to, this very subtle S curve in the handle. And it's got basically the standard blade configuration of your average Stockman. You have a main clip point blade as well as a secondary sheep's foot blade, and on the other end you have a spay blade. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this knife. First thing I really loved about this knife was just the color. I think this is one of those things, you either love it or hate it. I absolutely loved it. This is green saw cut Delrin. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. Yeah, I just think it looks great. You can see where they ground down here to meet the bolsters. The green kind of turns into yellow. I just love how that color pops. You got a nickel silver Remington shield. It's just glued in. It's not pinned. I wish that would have been pinned in. We have slanted nickel silver bolsters. Steel pin in the bolster. You can see the transition right there. You can see the pin, as well as a steel spring pin. One thing you don't see is the cover pins, and that's really cool. Let me give you guys a look in here. It's the only Stockman knife, or traditional knife for that matter, that I own that they have invisible pins, and you can see where it's pinned inside there and down in there, but the only visible pin is the spring pin there. So let's take a look at the tang stamps. There you go, Remington, made in the USA. On the back, we have the model number, 9501, and I believe that's the only tang stamp that's on this knife. Let me just check out the other blades real quick. Yeah, so let's just walk through the knife, look at the fit and finish. I'll tell you guys what I like about it, what I don't like about it. You know, not owning a Camillus knife, I've watched several videos. I've always heard really good things about Camillus knives. I'll say one thing. It's not Great Eastern Cutlery quality. I'd say it's definitely better than Rough Rider. It's up there with Case in many respects. It's better than Case in many respects. It is not better than Case. This is just a really good middle of the road type knife. And I really wish the industry would offer a little bit more of that. It seems like you have the cheaper knives, the Rough Riders, the Marbles, things like that, for 10, 15, 20 bucks. And then, you have a couple, Bear & Sons and Case. You can get them for some models around the $40, $50 range. Then after that, you're into, Great Eastern Cutlery and Northwoods. And past that, you're into custom knives. So there's not a lot of knife makers that are making middle of the road knives at the moment. And I really wish there would be some kind of revival in that. I have several cases. I've had a few Bear & Sons. I would say that this example that I have here is better fit and finish than any Bear & Son knife that I have owned. That could just be the knives that I happen to have. But from my experience, what I can say about Bear & Sons is for the price, I don't know. Not for me. Let's just go ahead and take a look at this knife. We have this great looking clip point blade with a long pull. Notice there's no swedge. It's a full flat grind. How long is this blade? 3 1/8 inches on the main blade. The large Stockman pattern is really good just because it really fills out your hand and the blade is long enough to do a lot of big chores with. The medium Stockman I think is also an acceptable knife. When you start getting into the small Stockmans, the tiny Stockmans, I just don't find a lot of use for them. This one's going to open your boxes, it's going to open your packages, it's going to cut your food, it's going to peel your apples, whatever you're going to need this knife to do. This blade size is adequate. I would say more than adequate. There's really no bells and whistles on the blade. It would have been nice to see a swedge up there, but I do like the look of that long pull. Let's take a look at the sheep's foot blade. Also a really cool blade. I like the Stockman knives because typically what I do with a Stockman knife is I use the main blade for my food prep and stuff like that. And when I need to just rip open boxes or something, I will use the sheep's foot blade, and the spear or the spade blade is basically just kept sharp just as a backup blade. I really don't have a lot of use for the spade blade, but I have heard people who hunt say that a spade blade is really good for skinning. You can get up there and really get a lot of control on it. But as it stands, I don't have a lot of use for a spade blade. But let's just take a look at the fit and finish. There are no gaps in this back spring. It's really well done. One thing I will say, it has just this kind of dull finish. Like when you open up a Case knife or a GEC knife, it just hits you like bam. It's just all shiny. It's all bling. This isn't the case. This is more kind of like Rough Rider style. Much better fit than your average Rough Rider, but as far as the polish, it's kind of a dull polish. It's something I can pull out my Dremel and fix if I wanted to, but I see no reason to do that. As far as the covers, this green saw cut Delrin, I think it looks great. I really like saw cut knives. I don't mind the Delrin, the plasticky material. I think it's strong. I think it's durable. That shield looks great. It's really nicely set in there. Transitions, I would say, are just okay. They are nice and smooth. If you rub your fingers across it, you're not getting snagged or anything. But if you're really getting close and look, there are some slight imperfections in the matchup, but nothing to be concerned about. As far as the pull weight, again, I was a little bit disappointed with this. You know, I guess I'm spoiled. I have a lot of GECs. I have a lot of Northwoods, even a lot of cases with really great spring tension. I wouldn't say this is bad. You know, it snaps open. It's almost stronger on the opening than it is on the close. It just kind of has a weak close on all of the blades. I would put the pull weight on all of these blades probably around a 4 or a 5. And all of them seem to be a little bit stronger on the opening than on the closing. But that being said, it does have snap. You know, it does have good tension up there. I don't fear that this knife's going to fold on me. I think it's a well-built knife. I just think I'm a bit spoiled with some of the traditional knives that I own. But all in all, this is a really great knife. I can recommend it. I'm looking forward to getting more Remington knives. And I'll just give you guys one last look at this fit and finish. But all in all, just a really cool knife to add to the collection. Here is a look at the box. 9501 Stockman high carbon steel. Now, it doesn't say what kind of high carbon steel it is, but being a Camillus made knife, I would assume it is the Camillus carbon steel that they would use, which is 0170-6C. I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but basically from what I've read is it is very similar to 1095. This might be a little bit harder, but it basically, from all of the research I've done on it, comes down to the heat treat, but very similar properties to 1095. I don't know if you can see, I have used this knife a little bit. It has a little bit of a patina on it, but overall, pretty good. Yeah, so what else can I say about this knife? I love the large Stockman for its functionality, for its comfort in the hand, for the length of the blades and all that. I can say that this is a chunky knife. This is 4.2 ounces, and you got 4¼ inches in your pocket. So it is, like I said, just a bit chunky in the pocket. A medium Stockman, I think, is ideal for the pocket. I think a large Stockman is ideal for getting work done. So it's a trade-off with any knife, but overall, I think this knife is really well done. I got a great deal on it. Really happy to have it in the collection, and I just wanted to turn the camera on and show you guys. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to continue seeing content like this, don't forget to like this video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have Camillus knives? Do you guys have these Remington knives? Do you guys want to see more reviews on some of these types of knives? Let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you guys want to see me go live, and have a great day. Bye-bye.